Hi, this is Jones Chipeta, aka Mr. Zangena. I've come into your space today to talk about the 7 rules of money. When we talk about financial management, we can summarize the whole syllabus of financial management into just 7 rules of money. So if you don't want to miss out, you want to do 2 things. First, you want to join my free WhatsApp group so that you can interact with other entrepreneurs and with other people. And also don't forget to like this particular post so that every time I post something, Facebook can be able to show you this particular video. So without further ado, we are going to go straight into rule number 1. Number 1, save money. You can say, Mr. Zangena, it's impossible to save money because my salary is small. You can even say the cost of living is high, so I can't save money. I can't manage to save money. If you are failing to save money, it tells me 2 things about you. The first one is that you are not making enough money. If the money you are making is enough to pay for basic things only, you can't save anything. Because every time you have money, you'll be thinking about rentals, you'll be thinking about food, you'll be thinking about basic stuff. So if you are not able to save money, maybe you are not making a lot. So maybe let's focus on making more money. The other thing it tells me about you is that maybe you are not disciplined when it comes to money management. So whatever money you make, you spend all of it. And when your income increases to a certain level, at the same time you also increase your expenses. What I mean is if you are staying in a compound, when your income increases, immediately you shift from the compound, you go to an expensive neighborhood, meaning that you use income as a lifestyle enhancing tool. According to the decorated financial literacy book, The Richest Man in Babylon, it is stated that to be wealthy, you need to save at least 10% of any money you make for the rest of your life. Don't give any excuse for not doing it. Just find a way of how you can actually do this thing. I'm going to show you how you can do that thing. If you would like me to talk about this, comment in the comments below, then I'll be able to do that. The second rule of money is this: control your expenditure. I'm a Christian, I go to church, and one of the things I learn at church is that God commands us to give Him a 10% of the money which we make, meaning that God expects us to live on 90%. When you are paid, don't clean the whole account. When you get some money, don't spend everything on consumption. Leave something for investing, leave something for saving, live on 90%. I don't care whether you are making a 500 kwacha per month, whether you are making 1,000, 100,000, it doesn't matter. It is a rule. Live on at least 90% of the money which you make. It's very difficult to control your expenditure if you want things and you want them now. We are living in a generation of instant gratification. People want instant topwa. They want fast foods. They want things to be done fast. That is why we have seen mobile money doing very well, because it's fast money. You send money now, it has already gone, somebody has received, they are able to withdraw it within a short period of time. We want things fast. We have got too many wants. You want a new car, you want a dining table, you want a big TV, you want your children to go to a nice school. Now, if you want everything at the same time, if you want all those things to happen to you within a space of a day, within a space of a month, within a space of a year, you find yourself always being under pressure because you always want to spend money. And what is going to happen? You are going to live on more than what you are making. To control your expenditure, you need to delay certain things. You can say, of course I'm going to get a car, but I'm not going to get it this year. The things you want, all of them, they are going to come to you, but they are going to come to you at the right time. Just employ a bit of patience and just be focused. Focus on controlling your expenditure, and the rest of the things will start flowing to you like a miracle. There is this tenant who was living at this particular flat. You know, in that flat there were about 6 houses. So this particular tenant lived there for over 10 years, and he was a consistent tenant. So he was always paying on time, and he was loved by the landlord. So the landlord gave him a title, the chief tenant. So he said, as the chief tenant, you should be collecting money for me, pay the water bills for me, pay the electricity bills for me. And you know, he was honored as the chief tenant. So he came to me and he was very excited. He was like, Mr. Zangena, I'm the chief tenant where I live. I'm always on time. I've been there for over 10 years. I was like, hey, you should be ashamed of yourself. You've been renting for over 10 years and now you are a chief tenant. You've not even bought a plot. You've not even built anything for yourself. You need to reach a place where you become uncomfortable renting. It should pain you to pay money to the landlord every month. Desire to own your own home later. Mubita Nawa did a program, he was calling it landlord, become a landlord in 6 months. Listen to such programs so that you can be motivated to think in terms of building your own house. You can live in a rented house, it can be nice, it can have a wall fence, but it is not your own. That is why, whilst there's still time, whilst you are still working, hate the idea of renting. Get a plot, build even a one room. It's your house, you'll be proud of it. Like I said, building is a long-term process. This year you can just say, I'm going to buy a plot. Next year, just do the foundation. The other year, start doing the block work. Start, don't be comfortable. There are those people who are always looking for a nice house for rent. Have you seen a house, a good house for rent somewhere? Okay, it's like you're becoming comfortable renting. Hate it. Despise it. Of course, when you're starting, start with renting, but eventually build your own home and live in your own home and become a landlord. You can't just be a tenant forever. Own your own home. Rule number 4, protect your money. Money doesn't last forever. Money comes and money goes. We have heard of Mike Tyson, who accumulated, a lot of money during his career, but ended up declaring bankruptcy. We've probably heard of those people who won lottery. They got a lot of money and lost all of it. We know some politicians who were doing very well. They made a lot of money, but eventually when you see them today, they are just walking like a common man. There's nothing that they can point at. Every time we have money, there's a tendency to feel that money will last forever. That is why rule number 4, you want to make sure that you protect your money. So how do you protect your money? I'm going to talk about that later, but let me just maybe mention 1 or 2 things whilst we are on this point. The first way to ensure that you protect your money is not to waste it. You work too hard to make the money you make, isn't it? Why waste it? You waste money when you spend it on things that harm you. For instance, if you are spending money on cigarettes affects your health. They affect your lungs. You are wasting money. If you are spending your money on side chicks, you are wasting your money. Imagine if you just took that same money and maybe saved it and invested it. Or maybe if you used the same money and bought treasury bills. Wouldn't that have a better impact on your financial life than just wasting money? The second way you can protect your money is to ensure that you subscribe to these insurance products. There are many insurance products available. You might want to go and visit some of these insurance firms, and then they'll be able to explain to you some of the products they have. Now, since this is a public forum, I can't mention insurance companies by name because I might be arrested, isn't it? But of course, those who are in my mentorship program, I'll be able to recommend to you the exact insurance companies that you should deal with. You want to make money above the money you are making for food, for transport, you know, those basic stuff, right? You want to have money now which is a surplus. Surplus money is not just for having fun. It is not just for party after party. It is not just for show off. When you have surplus cash, you want to invest part of it. When I talk about investing, I'm talking about three things. Number one is the growth of your money. The money which you have, you need to put it in a place where it should be able to grow. You don't want to put it in a savings account because it is not going to grow there. The number two thing about investing is managing risk. Every investment you are ever going to think of, there is always an amount of risk. So what you want to do is you want to manage that risk. And the last one is the time frame. When I talk about investing, I'm talking about a long period of time. Investing is not something you do 1 month, 2 months. I'm sure you've received these messages from scammers. They are telling you to invest 200 kwacha and reap 4,000 in the next 4 hours. That is not investing, that is gambling. If you are going to invest in anything, whether it's education, whether it's in shares, whether it's government bonds, you need to think in terms of years. This is something we need to train ourselves, especially as Zambians, to think long term. Because we receive the salary every month, we usually think in terms of 30 days. Even when we invest, we want the investment to mature in 30 days. That's why you've seen village banking groups, are doing very well, because we want every time you put in money, the next month you're able to receive a return immediately. But real investments, they take time. Whether you are going to invest in a company, whether it's government bonds, it is going to take time. Whether you are going to invest in a company, it is going to take time. If investing is a topic you would want me to talk about more, comment in the comments below so that I can know. I'll be able to do that video just for you. Retirement is something which people don't like talking about because retirement looks very far. 55 years from now, 65 years, it looks very far, isn't it? Not until you are told that, Bwana, you have to retire after you are turning 55 years. Then you wonder, I'm actually turning 55 years. I was with my dad many years ago. We jumped in this, these flash buses. So we jumped in those buses with my dad and we dropped somewhere. So this conductor told my dad, he said, Washkuru, wachilaba change. That's how he got the change and he gave that. So when we went home and we were eating, he was like, son, is it true that I've become a shikuru? Because for him, he was still feeling like he's young, but the conductor made him realize that he's actually turned into a shikuru. So some of you, if you don't know whether you've grown or not, don't use your vehicle when going for work. Go and get on a taxi or these flash buses or these heist buses and see how the conductors are going to call you. There's something I learned from Mr. Mwinga. He told me something. He said that, Jones, if you want to know whether you are growing or not, don't look at your age. Look at the age of your children. If you see your children writing grade 7 exams, grade 9 exams, going into college, then you know that you are growing. Because you are yourself, you are always the same you, the spirit is the same. So there's a tendency to feel like you are just the same person, isn't it? Even when you look at the mirror, you might just look in the mirror and still feel as if you are a teenager or you are a youth. So what I'm trying to say is begin to prepare for retirement now. The moment you begin working, your first salary, when you get it, that is the time that you begin preparing for retirement. So let me pause here and talk to those newly recruited teachers. Those are newly recruited medical personnel. If you want to begin preparing for retirement, start now. Don't start preparing for retirement when you are 55 years old. You want to start a business when you are 65 years old. Whilst you are making that money, whilst you still have the strength, whilst you still have, the energy, go ahead and begin to prepare for retirement. When we talk about retirement, there are two forms of retirement. There's what I call voluntary retirement and involuntary. So the voluntary one is where you decide, you say by 40 I should be able to retire, or you say by 50 I'll retire, or you say by 55 I'm going to retire. So that one, you are the one who makes a decision and you say I'm going to retire by this particular age. But the one for involuntary is whereby you are sacked out, where people write you letters, please sir, retire, you have grown old, go to the farm. So if retirement is something you want me to talk about, comment below and then I'll be able to share more things about this particular topic. Don't be satisfied with what you are making right now. If you are making 5,000, think double. Can't you make 10,000? If you are making 10,000, ask yourself, how can I make 20,000? If you are making 20,000, ask yourself, how can I make 40,000? If you are making 100,000, ask yourself, how can I make 200,000? You always need to aim high. Don't be comfortable with where you are. I'm not saying don't be content. Appreciate God for what you have. Thank Him. Say, God, I'm grateful for this money you've given me. Thank you for the assets that you have. God says, tell me the desires of your heart and I'm going to grant them to you. So tell God, I'm desiring more. Whatever money you are making right now, desire to make more. There are many ways of making money. There is not just one way. Don't be stuck to only one method of making money. Just because somebody is making money through entrepreneurship, they shouldn't force you to become an entrepreneur. Just because somebody is making money through farming, they shouldn't force you to become a farmer. Just because somebody is making money through government bonds, they shouldn't force you to also do government bonds. You need to find out exactly what works for you. We are all going from point A to point B, but we are not going to use the same transport, we are not going to use the same route, we are not going to arrive at point B at the same time. We are going to use different methods, but at the end of the day, we are going to reach there. This is Mr. Zangena, your money and business mentor. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you join my WhatsApp group so that you stay informed, because I've got nice things prepared for you. Don't miss anything. See you next time.